Hi there, this is Jacob Nash, and this is a review of Module 45, Developmental Questions and Issues. So I'm sorry, once again, if you didn't see the video that I made, that I'm doing these out of order, and that's for a reason that's not in my control. The curriculum that I'm following requires me to go in this order. Um, I so I apologize that I'm not doing 26 right now. I'm doing 45, but anyways, let's get started with this one. All right, developmental psychology. What is that thing? Womb to tomb. Remember, womb to tomb. That's what they study. They're like, okay, looking at this, looking at this. That's President Zachary Taylor's tomb. See, sneaking out of it. Okay, so that's basically what it is. That's all that you can say. And they mostly ask three questions. They think is our behavior based on nature or nurture. So, what does that mean? In case you forgot, hopefully not, but you might have. Nature, that's if it was something that has to do with our genes or biological things. Like, remember we had that unit on our biological things, right? Nurture is our experience. So they're saying, all right, our behaviors are because of something that happened to us as we were alive. Continuity and changes, or sorry, stages. So they're like, all right, are things the same the whole time? Like, or do things progress by stages? And we're going to talk more about that in a different module. And then stability or changes. Are particular behaviors the same, or do they change as you? So really, questions 2 and 3 are kind of like intertwined. But this isn't necessarily like a specific thing you have to know. It's just like I'm just telling you that's what they look at. All right, we need to know about 3 different grandpas. All right, look, there's a purple one, there's a green one, there's an orange one. All right, well, let's talk about the purple one first. KM. You got to know KM. Kohlberg morality. He looks at how our morality changes. How do our morals change? Erickson, all right, the green guy, all right. EP, Erickson, personalities. He looks at how our personalities or change or goals might change. Then Piaget, the orange one, PA. So abilities, we get new abilities. So what does this mean? This means that he thinks as we get older, we are able to do things that we weren't able to do. And we're going to talk more about his things, like his 4 stages, I think in module 46. All right. Temperament. What is this? This is emotional reactivity. So our temperaments can be different between people, but how do we react to things? So if you see, let's say someone sees a stray cat on the side of the road. One person might be like, oh no, let me just drive past that. And then someone else might be like, oh, I want to help that cat, and they'll have a lot of emotional reactivity to that. Well, this is something that's just what it is, basically. That's the definition of temperament. And it is stable, meaning that it stays the same generally. So you're not going to necessarily change this in most cases. You're not going to just be like very emotionally reactive as a young adult, but then when you're old, you won't be. That's not usually what it's like. All right. So prenatal development. So what does this talk about? This is talking about the thing that, well, I guess I don't know how to describe it other than these words. Basically, before you're born, the the I don't know how to explain it exactly. The baby that just before you're born, these are the three stages. That's what I'm trying to say. And that is zygote, embryo, fetus. ZEF, ZEF. That's what you need to know. The zygote is from 0 to 2 weeks. So when that thing first starts to 2 weeks, embryo 2 to 8 weeks, fetus 8 to birth weeks, like until you're born. All right, let's talk about teratogen. This is any sort of bad thing that can reach the fetus and harm the baby. This is why they tell women to not drink when they're pregnant. They tell them not to smoke. They tell them to not do a lot of things and stuff. Why? It's because whatever you eat or whatever you put in you, it also goes to the baby. That's why. So if a woman drinks alcohol when pregnant, their child may have fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS. And this is something that's bad, obviously, but it's something that where the child may become addicted to alcohol, but in some cases they also may have visual differences. So see this picture? This is what it's saying. Like, so sometimes people that have FAS, they will have a smooth thing that's under their nose. Like if you notice that there's something that's like a dent under your nose, that's called the philtrum. I might be saying that wrong. I don't specialize in that, sorry. But they might not have that dent there. And they also might have a thin upper lip. So that's obviously not a good thing. Like they can have health problems. So that's why these are bad teratogens. Rooting reflex. So we've talked about another reflex, Babinski, remember? But rooting reflex is when you touch a baby's cheek to see if they can nurse. So you touch their cheek and they should open their mouth because that's showing that they think that they are going to nurse. Habituation. So this is the idea, we already talked about this before, that as exposure increases, reactions decrease. So maybe the first time someone shows their baby a toy, they're like happy, but after like 46th time, then, oh, not so happy. They want a new thing, right? That's habituation. They increased exposure leads to decreased reactions. All right. Questions. Which reflex is we just talked about that. I'm not going to read that. Rooting reflex. That's easy. Create an example of habituation. A baby is very interested in the toy his mother shows him each day when she gets home from work, but it eventually looks away quicker as the days go by with the repetition. What is the debate over the contribution of heredity and environment called? Nature versus nurture. Sorry if I seem kind of like weird and rushed right now. It's just because I'm kind of sick today. I have a headache, so sorry. Create an example of environment's teratogen effect. Yeah. Because Mayu drank while pregnant, her daughter now has FAS and has major health problems. The fetus was damaged by this teratogen. Done. Bye-bye.